Yes, my Sports to the Bone family, back at it again with another video. Thank you all for tuning in. So, as I make my way home, I just want to talk a little bit about that second ODI that was played between West Indies and Bangladesh earlier today. You know, we touched on a few things immediately after the game, but in this video, there are a few other things that I will be zooming in on. So just give a listening ear, my people. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you want to show your support and you want to be a part of this channel, one way to do so is by hitting the subscribe button. There is no charge my viewers and subscribers, no charge to subscribing, no charge to commenting. We don't ask for donation, we're not doing anything like that, right? We're just asking you to let us know your thoughts on the cricket, right? Alright, so earlier today we saw West Indies getting the better of Bangladesh in a very tightly contested game. Went all the way down to super over, right? And luckily for us, our guys were able to hold their nerve, right? Or hold their nerves. Now, I was listening to a clip after the game and I saw where Akil Hussain, was saying that he has been in this in a similar situation before, or he was in a similar situation before, where he was playing in the 100 and he had to do something similar, and he was able to take the game home for his team. So I want to say shout out to him for holding his nerve. Before we go down into anything else though, my people, I said it in the video earlier, congratulations to the coaching staff. This is not a World Cup win, this is not this, that, but at the same time, we have to say congrats and big up to them for coming up with a strategy that works. Whenever we play and we lose, people are comfortable to say that, oh, the coach, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. And just like, oh, it's not a World Cup when we're saying that, it's the same way here. It's a victory, not a World Cup, but we still can say hats off. We saw the strategy. I personally, when I saw the playing 11, I mean, when I started watching, we were already on the field. But when I looked at it, I was thinking to myself that, I said it in the video this morning, that I probably would have gone for, I would have kept Jaden Seals in and probably leave Romare Shepherd out to bring in Akil Hussain. Well, the coaching staff, they made a decision and it worked. You understand? First team to bowl 50 overs of spin in ODI. Well, obviously, if it's 50 overs, it's ODI cricket, right? First team to bowl 50 overs of spin in a one-day game like that. So, it worked. It worked. If it didn't work, then people would come out and say, listen, Jaden Seals, it's a spinner's pitches, but Jaden Seals picked up 3 wickets, and why you leave him out? I probably would have been one of them to say that, because in the back of my mind, I had a playing 11 with him in, right? So I've always said it. I am not ashamed to come and say, boy, this is why I would have gone, and they didn't go that way, and they win the game, and I 100% have no problem with that, right? The whole aim is to try and put that team together that will win, and if they do that, then we're happy. So shout out to Coach Sammy, Ravi Rampal, and Floyd Reefer, right? They are the coaching unit there, along with their assistants and assistants that they have there. So they came up with a strategy and it worked. Now, where do we go from here? That is something that I have on the thumbnail. Where do we go from here? Now, the only place that we can go from here, my people, is to try and win the series, right? Go out there and win. We proved to ourselves that we can bat out 50 overs. Proved to ourselves that we can score 200 runs, right? I mean, it's not all the time our bowlers going to be firing and going to give us well under 250 to chase, right? It's not all the time that's going to happen. So our batsmen, they have to condition their minds that they need to be able to bat 50 overs, and they need to be able to chase close to 280, 300 runs comfortably, right? Obviously, we haven't been asked to do that just yet, but it's ODI cricket, and I mean, if we are building a team and we're looking to go to the World Cup, we're looking to qualify and to really compete against top teams, we have to be comfortable chasing our setting 390, right? Or 400. You know, not every day that's gonna happen, but you know, you have to be comfortable scoring over 280, 290. I understand, consistently, right? You wanna come up against top teams, they are regularly gonna score 350 and up. So obviously, if you want to be considered a top team, or if you want to be the top teams regularly, you have to be comfortable scoring 370, right? 370, 380 all the time. You understand? But we know that we're not there as yet, so we continue to work with what's happening. Now, something that I wanted to mention this morning, but I didn't really highlight it too much because I didn't want to dampen the spirit. Obviously, there is always room for improvement even after you win, but I still didn't want to say too much because, you know, I was happy for the win. Now, we saw a masterclass here from She-Hope. You know, I celebrate this half century almost as much as I would celebrate some of his centuries, right? It was well crafted, well good. It was tough. He fought, and you know, he helped, you know, to make sure that we got across the line. Now I want to talk about the batsmen, right, in their decision making. It's ball against bat, you know, my people. It's ball against bat, and we're playing against international players. So I'm not saying that we should always be on top, and we should not be dismissed, and we cannot be bamboozled or outsmart or fooled. I'm not saying anything like that, you know. A little bit of common sense would know that, boy. I'm not referring to anything like that. What I'm saying is we still need to be careful how we just give away our wickets. You understand? I like when bowlers work for our wickets. That is what I'm thinking, right? And I've in today's game there are several guys that I can point to that really and truly gave it away, right? Going into the third game, we have to try and sidestep those issues. We have to try and make sure we're not making those same mistakes, right? It's about time Brandon King come good for us. It's about time he gives us some runs, my people, right? And we can't be going in and sweeping up the ball, pitching in line with the middle stump and missing. You know, we definitely cannot be doing that. You know, we just have to make sure that we are careful with our wickets. We have to take care of our wickets, make the guys work for it. You know, something that I want to highlight also, I didn't see the first 3 or so wickets, so I'm you know, of us bowling when we were bowling, so I missed a couple overs, but I think that the guys were okay in the field based on what I saw. You know, I was lucky enough to see most of it. I think they were okay in the field. You know, I don't know if I missed anything that needs to be pointed out, but going into the third and final ODI, you know, our confidence should be up. So answering the question that I have on the thumbnail there, where do we go from here? Our confidence should be up. We are now aware that we can bat 50 overs of mostly spin, right? We can score over 200 runs. It's not T20, so no way to say that we can score over 200 runs, right? But you know, it is what it is. It is where we are, and to finish off this series, you know, to secure the series, we just need to go out there and try and you know, repeat what was done today in terms of the fight. Obviously, the mistakes and certain things, we want to continue to eliminate those, but in terms of the fight and the determination, we want to do that. Akeem Ogis looked good. You know, this is somebody that we have been talking about since under 19. You know, so he's not new to a lot of people that are following the cricket. I mean, casual watchers that just come on every now and again might not be familiar with him or familiar with his game, but you know, he's a former West Indies under 19 captain, very talented player, you know, and we're happy that he got a chance to make his debut earlier today. He looked good. You know, even against the spin, he looked composed, looked compact, and you know, he looked comfortable, looked as if he's supposed to be there. You know, so I want to say a shout out to him. Casey Carty also continues to show that, you know, there's quality, there's class there. You know, we just want him to, whenever he gets into those 30s or 40s, you know, he just continues to push on. There's a lot of class there. You know, those who are regular watchers of this channel will tell you that, you know, Kid Carty is somebody that I have always advocated for. You know, even though prior to the first game I was calling him out saying that, you know, we definitely want him to push. You know, he's definitely somebody that he has the temperament to go out there and play. You know, he has a good technique. You know, so we definitely want him to continue to improve. It's only a pity that, you know, some of these guys, it takes so long, and this is something that I have addressed several times, right? You know, they come to at the under 19 level, they look so good, play probably one or two international game, and they look so good, but the development is not as fast as we would like, because, you know, once you're a professional, you're going up against other pros who have been doing it for a while, and when you're only afforded the opportunity to bowl, to bat or to bowl in 6 or 7 red ball games, you know, and then that's the end of your red ball season. You know, it's not what you want. You understand? It's not what you want. Might be more than that still, but it's definitely not what you want. When you want to be playing more cricket, you know, obviously you want to be going up against guys that are pushing you. So there are several things, but as I said in the video this morning, you know, not all the time we're going to continue to highlight those in every video, but you know, it's something. It just goes to show that we have players coming through with solid technique, looking good, but unfortunately they are unable to really kick on until, you know, they are in their early 30s, sometimes 28, 29. One example is Shamar Brooks, right? Shamar Brooks, when he was younger, was a sight to behold, my people. Very good player, composed, good technique. You know, in his late, I don't remember if he actually started playing some international cricket in terms of being in the team for a period of time. If he already was in his 30s or was late 20s, but you will remember a couple of years ago when he just got drafted in. You know, it looked so good, and people would be like, you know, where was this guy? He has always been there. It's just that, you know, when people come through, it takes a little time. You know, you will have a few of them that come out at the under 19 level and, you know, play some games and they will get in and they will cope at the international level. You know, but then you have the late bloomers that will take a little time and take a lot of regional games and you know, list A games to really get themselves going. You know, so yeah, I'm just saying all of this to say that, you know, when you see people like Akeem Ogis coming in, you know, we hope that they will continue to work with him, continue to monitor him, because at the end of the day, my people, you know, our talented players, our players, they are, you know, they might be known as touch players, and they might be known as players that will rotate, strike, and all of this and that. But at the end of the day, once they become a pro, right, and they know that they are focusing on cricket full term or full time, you know, they will be tempted to go and play T20s and T10s and what them call this new thing coming up now. You never know if, well, they say it's just for youngsters, but you never know if it might take off. Test 20 or whatever, you know. So, you know, CWI just need to make sure they are taking good care of these youngsters coming through. But yeah, going into this final game, my people, our confidence should be up. We should be thinking winning this series, right? As I said, I don't know if the players needed to convince themselves that they are able to, but they have shown it to the world. I don't know what type of how the pitch will look for the final game. Don't know if we are going to load them up with spin again, or are we gonna go elsewhere, right? But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit, my viewers and subscribers. You know, once again, congratulations to the players, congratulations to the coaches, you know, and as we step into the final game, there are definitely a few guys that, you know, we want them to tighten up. tighten up in terms of batting and also bowling. A couple of guys picking up wickets, but a bit on the expensive side of things, especially in the back end, right? I said it in the video this morning. If you have a bowling team bowling out a side or restricting a side for under 250 consistently in ODI games, even though you might think that the condition is really helpful to the bowlers, you can't really complain. You can't complain. Obviously you want to make sure that they are keeping it tight right throughout, but in the back end is always going to be bat against ball, and from time to time the bowlers will try different things. They might move away from the strategy that was working earlier, and it might end up costing them, but all in all it was a win, and we're happy for it. I've always said that a ugly win is better than a pretty loss. This is something that I say on here all the time. This is something I say to my own students that I'm coaching. Sometimes you just have to dig and grind out a result. And that is exactly what happened there. Once again, I appreciate my people. I'm not saying that the coaching staff, they are there and everything is good, but I appreciate strategy when I see it, especially if I didn't think about it, or I didn't. I would think that the first time when I see it, I'm thinking it's not gonna work. When it works and comes off, I appreciate it, my people. I'm not too big to say, boy, that was a good strategy, and I personally didn't think of it or it wouldn't work. But I appreciate it, man, and this was a good master class of coaching from Darren Sammy and his guys. So big up, my people. Stay safe, and we'll touch base again tomorrow. Bless up.